What's up with y'all, man? Mall high salute, mall high salute to the real ones. Damn, I need some lotion, bro. My shit is dry. My face is dry. What's good with the good people out there? Hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's blessed today. What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy hump day. Happy hump day to the homies. What's up, my Bronco sis? What's good with you? What's good with you? Just got back from the Young Gym. Relaxing. Mall high salute. I looked on my YouTube studios and had a question from somebody in my other video, and I was like, "Let me tap in on this." What up, Big George? So the homie was like, he wasn't from here, but he came out here in like 2000s, and he started seeing, you know, foods he knew represent something, and then later down the road, um, they started representing something else. Big shout out to the homie Alvin. All high salute to you for the question. And he wanted to know how I felt about that. So basically, he was asking me, what did I think about foods hood hopping and bustering up to different aspects of like neighborhoods and becoming something else, right? Um, and let me put this out there too that I don't glorify gangbanging and I do not partake in gangbanging anymore. You know what I'm saying? That was a big part of my life, but I have to make that clear because people, when you do these type of videos, they think that you're just like promoting. So check this out. I know a lot of different people that I know personally that when they were younger, they represented something. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good with everybody? What's up, Laura? How you doing? What up, George? What's up, everybody? Man, Box State business. So when they were young, they were infatuated with different aspects of like neighborhoods, and it's just basically who they were around when they were young. They really didn't have the sense of like direction, or they were not, they were young, like they were just impressionable. So you'll find little dudes that represented who they were around, if it was a clique or a different neighborhood. And then, once they get older, some people might magnetic to like their family aspect and they become something else. But in my greatest feeling and what I feel about that is like I can never see an aspect of somebody banging something for so long and then getting put on another tribe and actually acknowledging that as a right direction. Like I seen that a lot with people that were in the streets. And I always look down upon that because if you from a tribe, right? You from a certain tribe, and then you go somewhere else and you around these fools and you bust her up, like that kind of shows weakness. Kind of shows weakness in the individual. But I guess when you look at a young individual and he's coming up and he's like a kid, he really don't know the wrong for right, to be honest. I'm gonna be 100. Young kids don't really know what they're even doing. They're just trying to figure out and be accepted by the in crowd and whatever is there. If it's something at school, if it's something that they come across at school or something, they're gonna try to be a part of that. And I've seen that a lot with kids. Young kids, they start thinking that they're representing something, a clique or something, just to fit in. And they don't even know what they're even doing. And it might not even be official clique or official hood or anything. They're just doing it because of what the in crowd is doing. I met your cousin Phil today, bro. I work with him. Hey, tell him what's up, man. I'm all high salute to the family. You know what it is? It's all family. What up with it, Elite? How you doing, bro? Um, so let's break this down, homie. I know a gang of individuals when they were in their younger years, they were representing. There's a difference between representing something, and I'm talking about like representing, like he represents that, than getting put on a neighborhood. A lot of fools that say they down with gangbanging, they never officially got put on. So they don't really have loyalty towards that aspect of the neighborhood. And now they're basically just banging in a false pretense. Because if you ain't really got put on the hood, right, the neighborhood, you can't say you're official. And I know some of these organizations that basically, bro, they say, "Oh, this fool was blessed in," but like that's not really how it goes, homie. In official politic, and like you can't be blessed in unless, to be honest. And then there's a fine line between that too. Is like if your family, you a generational banger, right? You generational with it, meaning it came before you and your grandpas and your family and your older cousins and your uncles and your dads. They all did it and they're generational bangers. Some fools might look at that and be like, okay, you get the pass on that aspect. You already guilty by association. So now you from the hood because generational, it's a family thing. And that's kind of the problem with a lot of generational families that bang, because now you feel like you obligated to the family a lot. There's a lot of times youngsters grow up, and if their family was banging before them, then fools feel obligated to their family and what their family is. Now everybody banging, bro. If you don't know that there's banging, you're kind of, what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say you're under a rock, but you're kind of like you really throwing a blind eye to what's really going on. Fools is killing out here. There's more fools killing for hoods and politics than ever. This time frame is the time that fools are really killing, and they're banging these neighborhoods and these hoods. Oh yeah, banging's everywhere, homie. Like, and that's why I'm saying if you're a civilian, you might not know that. I don't know your upbringing or anything, but if you're a civilian and you're a nobody, you not gonna actually know that. You're gonna be under a rock, like, dang, homie, like that's going on. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, ain't no disrespect, but usually civilians are the ones that don't really know what's really going on. And it ain't wrong to be a civilian. I'm not saying that. It's just there's fools is dying every day from gang politics out in Denver. Like there's a lot of fools that still bang. I mean, there's banging everywhere. There's banging in Utah. There's banging in Memphis, Chicago. Like fools be banging everywhere. But to get back to it, fools generational with the aspect, bro. Like fools feel obligated to their family and what they do. So it's just a generational thing that's put upon the next generation. And that's where fools get caught up, because once you're in that aspect of having loyalty towards the family, you kind of feel loyalty towards the politics of the family. What up with it, Rada? And now you're in a rut and you're trapped into feeling obligated to ride for the family. What up with it, my Brody? How you doing, Blue? And that's the messed up part, is because once you're actually in that mindset, you feel like you honestly feel that there's no actual way out of the streets. If it's put upon you and you got the trauma of the streets, pretty much you're gonna feel obligated to that shit, regardless. And that's how fools get in a rub, because you honestly might want to actually pertain and do other things, but you're obligated to feel the loyalty towards the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? There's an obligation that comes with it. Now, with this whole situation of fools actually banging, like representing, like I'll say it like this, homie. There's fools that represented the neighborhood, right? Represented it, mean that they're not really bangers. They're not really fools that really bang. Like the gang banging aspect, the gang banging quote is actually the action of a gang member. Is a fool that actually bangs. Is a frontliner. The activities. So not everybody in an organization is a gang banger. There's members that have different positions in gangs. So some fools represent, right? If someone started throwing gang signs at me, hell yeah, as a civilian, you should. They shouldn't even be throwing gang signs at you, my homie. If you're a civilian, why would somebody throw gang signs at you? You're a nobody when it comes to that lifestyle. And I'm not saying you're a nobody, but you're a nobody. Nobody's gonna get respect off of tripping with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't have that type of clout in the streets. So it would be pointless. That's backward. That's backwards. Um, so How do I feel about it? Because this was the question that I asked. I don't even I actually look at gangbanging kind of it's a downward spiral. So I don't really acknowledge gangbanging. Like I'm not into glorifying that shit. You know, I really in my life right now, bro, I did it for so long. I really try to push people away from gang banging, to be honest, because there's no actual there's no benefits in gang banging. You're not gonna make $1 million. You might go to prison. You might actually die. It just comes with the territory. That's what it is. Like it comes with the territory, and there's nothing you're gonna benefit from gang banging. Youngsters, like there's nothing. So it's all a narrative that's pushed, that's smoke and mirrors. Like nobody, and this is that right there is a perfect example. The homie said, if somebody started banging on me and throwing gang signs, I'm gonna laugh. That's how society sees this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like civilians are gonna see it like that because in the empowerment ornament, gangbang is probably the last of the spectrum of like importance in society. Now, in our neighborhoods, hell yeah, the riders are going to be the riders. There's hood legends, and you're going to be like, that's a hood legend right there, and you're going to give that full respect, right? But in society, you can't go to a job and be like, hey, I gang bang. They're going to look at that and be like, why are you telling me this? Like, that's not something to be proud of, right? So nobody actually, at the end of the day, in real society, even cares about if you bang or not. They're going to look at that and be like, bro, that's like pointless to say. That's not even something to be proud of. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I can tell you the difference from a true gang member to someone's trying to portray. Hell yeah, anybody can. Everybody that actually been through the life, homie, can see through shit like glass, right? Anybody, anybody. But there's a lot of people out here that paint pictures of what it is. But fools can see through that shit like glass. Just like when I was in the penitentiary, if you had some a jacket, homie, and you hit that yard, the alphas and the fools that actually this is the world of the convict, you gonna get eaten up. I seen many fools come to that yard portraying something that they're not, and they become a prison victim. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality, homie. Like when it's all said and done, homie, life is about being successful and taking care of your family, homie. That's what it is. The gang banging for me, I did it since 12 to 37, bro. Full fledged all the way from the streets to the penitentiary, and it got me absolutely nothing, homie, except traumas and a lot of hardships, homie. So I don't push that narrative on anybody because it's just there's nothing that you're gonna gain by it. Um, yeah, so I really don't I can't agree with you on there because there's testimonies, bro, and like I understand what you're saying, but I can't agree with you of somebody telling a testimony on YouTube. Now, if you're displaying details of different things, that's where you can actually separate the aspect. But there's many different things. People have to hear this shit, homie, because if youngsters don't hear this shit, they're never gonna actually know to stay away from shit. But that's what a lot of people like to do. They like to say them type of comments because they like to actually acknowledge and portray and love to be in that street mentality. Like nobody wants to hear the positivity and like push the positivity on people's head. You know what I'm saying? I just laugh at them kind of comments because if there's not a testimony and you can't learn by experiences, you're not doing your job as somebody that is actually trying to push people away. Like you have a responsibility to shit. In this life, if you've been through some shit, you got a responsibility to shine light on what it really is. Like, let's portray. People always want to be quiet about shit. Everybody wants to be quiet because they don't ever want to put light on what the real is, homie. Everybody wants to sweep that shit under the rug. I'm not into that shit. I'm not into sweeping shit on the rug. I'm into actually shining light on some shit to make it known in detail for kids to see, for they steer away from that shit. Because I don't want nobody to go through what I went through. That's the main goal at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Hey, what's up with it, man? Mall high salute. And this is the real subject, homie. Like you're gonna have people that show through actions, and you're gonna have people that actually push a line for success. I'm the ones that's gonna push the line, homie. I don't give a care about nothing. Like I could never let something persuade the actions of me trying to actually touch somebody's young heart, bro, to persuade them away from gangbanging in prison, bro. Um, what are the yards at Sterling like? I mean, the high side, homie, the high side is very active, homie. Like, there's a lot of lifers. See, that's where you get into more serious yards because the lifers, they're gonna be on there and they're never going home. So, they don't have nothing to lose. Now you have everything in Sterling, homie. You got the mediums, you got the maxes, you got the high side, you have the minimums, you got an ad sake, and you don't leave that. See, that's the thing about Sterling. You're not gonna leave that campus. You're not gonna leave that prison. Like you're staying there. Once you're in Sterling, you don't have nowhere to go. You're not going nowhere. They're not gonna move you to another prison. They're gonna actually just keep you in that penitentiary. Yeah, hell yeah. I agree with that, bro. They're painting a persona, homie. They're painting a persona because people tend to follow what people push out of here. If you have one war story, bro, people are so glorified of the life, homie. They're gonna stick to every word of a person, you know? That's why these fools do this a lot. But if you know anything about me, I don't know how long you've been subbed up to my channel. I'm all about trying to be an example for youngsters, homie, to push them away. Cause this is what up with it, big C Dub was cracking with you, my brother. This is the thing is, homie, is like if I had somebody in my life telling me this shit when I was younger, and I had actually a real man telling me what it is and the reality of prison life and what it brings, not the fabrication and the glorification of prison life, bro. And what's turmoils come with the streets, I actually probably wouldn't even went down that road. But we all know the hood story. Father's not in the life, homie. The next best thing is the males that show you what it is. And you find loyalty into that shit, bro. And I got so deep, homie. I got good at what I did. And I never thought about changing that aspect, homie. I even went to the penitentiary for a good time frame, homie. Fighting for my life and life sentences, bro. I fought cases that were gonna put me away for life sentences, homie. Nobody told me the after effects and the traumas that I would face all the way up to me being 40 years old, and I'm still facing that shit. Uh, just curious, G, what prison did you hit? I hit Crowley, Muni, Trinidad, Delta Rifle, Ben County, CMRC, Cheyenne Mountain. I do understand the generational gangster being influenced as a kid by a family. I almost went down that. That's good, Marada. And that's one thing that it really does like that's the sucky part because once you're in that aspect of the family bangs and it's all around you, like everybody that is in my family, bro, banged. Everybody, homie. From my older cousins to my pops was a hood legend. Kenny G, bro, from the neighborhood. Uncle Dondo, all them fools is hood fools, bro. My cousins is OGs from the neighborhood, homie, and that shit was just put upon us. Before we knew what we were doing, we already knew what the hood was. All my little cousins and all my little bros, bro, they all banged because of the generational thing. And at the time, we didn't even we didn't even really know what we was doing, but we knew we was in war and we knew fools was trying to kill the homies and war of this and fools dying, family members dying left and right, homie. Like that's what we understood. So before we even had the discernment to actually like separate what you really need to do in life in the hood, we already were too deep in that shit. 17, 18, I got hit twice, bro. I got shot up twice, two times hit. Boom, boom, boom. And after that, you don't give a fuck. I mean, you go out there and just do what you do. And I caught a case with baby bro that almost put me away for life sentences, bro. And the hardest shit ever, bro, the hardest shit ever, homie, was fighting for my life and having these fools have my life in their hands, bro. I had a father pulling me away from that, but had big homies put, yeah, homie. And that's the crazy aspect, bro. Because I was, at that time, homie, and forgive me, cuzzo, forgive me, homie. Like I pushed that shit on your head too, Rada. And you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for just the family aspect, bro, and us not knowing any better, we definitely would have went down a different road, my homie. Um, oh damn, in Pelican Bay, homie, after 33 years. Yeah, that's a sad situation because it's a revolving door, homie. Like it's a revolving door, my brother. And that's the sad part. That's why we have to break the curses. Like I'm trying my hardest, homie, to break curses. I'm trying my hardest in life, homie. Because anybody that knows me, bro, they can tell you, they can vouch. There's not no smut on Sev's name. They gonna tell you, bro. I was one of them dudes that pushed that shit tremendously on everybody that was around me. I literally pushed war and had the homies in war and made sure these fools were battle prone to a point, homie. These fools at the end of the day knew how to get through war. Like we specialize in war, definitely. Um, and I probably was an extremist when it came to my views. You were not gonna change my mind on anything, homie. And I literally was an extremist to the point, homie. That's what mattered in life was the politic. And I can honestly say right now, homie, I don't have no emotional attachment to anything, bro. Like I'm literally doing everything in my possibility to change for I can be an example to my younger nieces and nephews and kids that are coming up because I don't want them to go down that road. That's why I speak on this shit right here, my homie. We gonna stomp them out, definitely. We gonna stomp out the Raiders, you know? And I apologize to anybody that ever thinks that that's what I'm advocating for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's not what I advocate for, bro. I'm not trying to paint a picture of any type of aspect of gang politics. I'm not in that light, bro. I'm a spiritual man that literally pushes for an individual to get a business going. Because that's what's gonna benefit you at the end of the day is being successful and running your own business, bro. But you can do it, but you can't do it really if you have a record. Let's be real. You ain't gonna be able to do anything when you get out and you're a felon. And it's gonna follow you for years coming down. Like the gangbanging shit's easy, bro. Prison time was easy, bro. Like real talk, I could go do prison time. I hated it, but I could do it. But getting out, homie, and trying to be legit and trying to have money and trying to do it the right way and trying to build businesses and have your own properties and all that shit, bro, you gonna deal with being a felon for the rest of your life, bro. That's just gonna hold upon your head, homie. And all this shit, like we talk about, and I'm talking about, I was supposed to be talking about hood hopping, but we got in a good discussion. All that shit right there, bro, and having that aspect and the meaningless of what a hood hopper is and this and my views is nah, you don't do that ever, right? You don't. You stay loyal to the soil, bro. Like you don't switch up. Now, if you represented something and you never got put on the hood and you found your tribe down the road, so be it to you, homie, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the discussion went off in a whole different aspect, you know. I respect your change. I appreciate that, Gats. Uncle Folsom, and he's doing 55 years. Homie, never gonna get out. And I guarantee my homie George, he'll tell you. I wish, honestly, I never messed up and I could change my whole shit up around. You know, he gonna tell you that, my homie. Watch Anthony Sanchez from down here in Texas. He breaks down a lot of the politics about Tango Blast. Okay, okay. You know, it's still crazy. We're down here. Yeah. Nah, definitely, my bro. Like, I heard about that shit, you know, and that right there, when I listen to them stories too, I'm like, damn, that shit is crazy to me, homie. Because a lot of times, bro, we're so and to the homie, you know what I'm saying, that was talking about LA and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, and Denver and this, like, we're so like we don't realize that a lot of shit got out everywhere, homie, and like sometimes, homie, I don't even understand what goes on in other states, right? I don't. But that shit, I mean, if the prevalence of the hood is everywhere, homie. Like there's little fools out here, and this is how sad it is, homie. And this is why I'm speaking to the homie. It's sad out here, bro. Fools are killing behind some gang wars that don't even have nothing to do with them. Out here, bro, a little fool just got chipped off behind some politics that ain't even really Colorado politics, but he out here pushing the line for politicking. He out here tripping. And it's like, bro, that shouldn't even start in the state. But you out here and you got your life taken, and another fool killed and caught a murder case behind some politics that's not really yours, homie. You don't really have that aspect. That's not your shit. And that's what fools are dying for, bro. And fools don't even really understand, like, homie, like it's not, life ain't disposable. You ain't coming back from that shit. You know? Let me see. Some people learn too late. I hope you make it. Yeah, bro. I like me. I'm good. I'm 40 years old, bro. I go to church and I relax, homie. I try to be an advocate for youngsters. I try to do good, homie, and just stay out of the mix, you know. But I'm good, homie. I'm at a good place in my life, homie. To be honest, I've seen a lot of guys who are hurt as kids or that relation with their parents, and that's true too. They go down that wrong road because reality is that the family curse is, the family curse, bro. Like you got to break them family curses. Like dad walking out, or they're mad and they're beefing with their young kids, and they go down a different road out of hate. What's up, Coach Hopping? Like Pac, Machiavelli. Big love from the UK. You know what it is, man. Shout out to the UK, Marada. I'm talking about 11 to 12-year-olds. Okay, yeah, and I see that, man. Um, That's just wild, bro. What's up? Let's go Broncos, man. Sports critic. What's up with my homies, man? Last word, Lady said. Lady said working right now, you know. Um, I had a cousin named Brandon. He was claiming he saw wrong 30, then went to Wild West when he was younger and got out as a Northsider and then got killed a few years. Saying that's crazy. That's a crazy aspect, bro. But like I try to, you know what I'm saying, see it from different points. Like at that age, bro, to be honest, it's a difference because, with your little relative, bro, he did. I don't think homie probably was quoted at that time. He was probably just representing. He probably was representing, and he went to Wild West, homie, and that was the tribe that he clicked up with, right? I feel like if you didn't get put on, homie, like you didn't get quoted to the turf, they can't hold that responsibility because that's a young age, homie. That's a hella young age. And if he really didn't get actually quoted to the turf, he really didn't have allegiance to that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the view. What's up with it, man? What's good with it? Cowboy Nation, what's cracking with you, Brody? Uh, we gonna beat the Raiders. We gonna stomp the Raiders, man. You know. Um, so that's how I feel. That's kind of just to clarify to the homie Alvin, like a lot of fools, I'll be real, a lot of youngsters, bro, that you hear about fools hood hopping. Um, it's probably some youngsters that were just representing. They were not really official members of a hood, homie. You know, they were not official members of a hood. So that was some young shit. Because I don't think honestly, if you been from a hood and you were quoted to the turf and you was quoted to the hood, I don't think actually you're gonna go down that path to bust her up. Because after you're quoted, you don't get no pass on that. Like after you're from the hood, homie, you're put on. I don't think nobody that's actually a member in that way, unless you a dropout. But then, I mean, a dropout, homie, if we're talking, that's a whole different subject. I still couldn't see that because if you're gonna stop banging the neighborhood, just stop banging all the way around. Don't get put on something else because of you trying to go make a statement. Like that's a crazy aspect too. Why do you think game were invented? Why do you think game were invented? Game to protecting the hood, homie, protecting the neighborhood. It was all for at first one good thing, you know. I mean, that's why kind of our neighborhood was created. It was protect the family, bro. It was all protection, you know what I'm saying, for the family, for the hood. But money diluted the shit out of that shit, bro. Money diluted a lot of things, my homie. And power. Exactly. I know because there's no code to it, Marada. There's no code. We don't stand on. There's no principles in today and age with hoods. You know, people are killing behind shit they don't even know. They're a part of shit they don't know because there's no code. There's no foundations. There's none of that, man. And that's out the window. We're not getting no better. That's why in 2025, it's really not the years to bang either, homie. How can I shoot you a link to Anthony Sanchez's video? Shoot, yeah, DM me on one of my community posts. That like the community post is when you go to my page, it says post, DM me, homie, and then drop me the link. You could hit me up like that. You know. Now it goes back to what I was talking about yesterday with fools hitting the main line, right? Prison, right? And then they go in and they see what it is. Now, this is kind of where the separation was when I was talking about the penitentiary and fools going to prison and then seeing what it is and they become a whole total different car. I can't agree with that. Me, if you've been banging, bro, you hit the compound, you have to stay loyal to what you know, homie. You can't go and become a whole different car. I don't see no honor in that shit, you know? And that's me. Maybe it's my experience, but like to me, you keep it way 10 times more hunted when you just keep it real to what you know and who you are. Um, yeah, but then people get it fucked up. So that's kind of the barrier on that aspect. Like if you go to a compound, homie, and we're getting into what we were talking about yesterday, like, and you just want to change your life all the way around and just like better yourself. Don't join another clique or another hood. Like I can't see honor in that shit, you know. Blast, you know what it is. So yeah, that's what I was answering the question for the homie. Um, it's crazy, homie. Like that shit's wild. Like I look at that aspect and I kind of trip out. I kind of trip out how a lot of things, and that's how I know when I look at the aspect of my morals and values, a lot of things out here I look at in a different sense. Homie having kind of an open eye to things. I'm like looking at shit in a different sense. I'm looking at what it is now, and I'm like, bro, like I can't get down with that movement. Like, nah, homie, that's not what it is no more. It's just like the whole thing with the snitching, bro. The snitching is such a demoralizing to the lifestyle. It's like, bro, who wants to be a part of that when everybody's snitching, homie? Everybody. Gangbangers included, everybody. There's so many fools in the last 10 years that done snitched, bro. And there's no excuse for snitching, but you got fools that actually back that snitching thing up. And that's how we know we're gone as a culture, homie. We're gone as a culture, and what the hood is and what this gangbanging stuff is, that if you can let this dilute the politics and the snitch culture, it wipes out everything what it stands for, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't get no excuse on that aspect of snitching, homie. That's just one of the most cowardly things you can do when it comes to that type of thing. I put the link in one of the posts, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out, my homie. You know, I'm gonna definitely check it out, and I might do a review. Is this some music that you have right there? I might check it out and do a review on it. Definitely. Um, so yeah, bro, that's kind of just that, bro. Like I don't know, bro. Like there's a lot of things nowadays that I look at in this life, homie, and I kind of just like I'm like, how do people operate nowadays? I can't understand it, my homies. I can't understand that community. I don't understand how fools. When I was growing up, bro, you earned your respect by being a decent person, like living off of morals and values. That simple aspect has went out the window. Nobody even lives off of morals and values. Nobody lives off of morals and values, homie. There's no morals and values. Anybody can be a despicable individual, homie, and do whatever they want. And it seems like people throw a blind eye to that. You look at all these rappers doing whatever they want. They're the voice of a lot of this thing we call the hood, homie. They're the ones that are speaking and rapping about this shit. And you got youngsters following suit to these dudes. These dudes that are putting it out there that they do music, and they're the ones that are actually pushing the narrative of the street life. And this is what the young kids follow, homie. This is what the young kids think is actually conducive in the right way to operate. When these dudes that are rapping, let's be real, 95% of them fools don't even live what they're saying in their music. Yeah, and he still wants to be in a gang and everything. That's crazy, bro. You would think that would be eye opener and that would make you want to change your life, right? You would think that. But a lot of dudes don't want to turn away from their old ways, homie. It takes a real sturdy individual to start making different decisions, start going in a different direction. A real individual that wants change is gonna show through that shit, bro. And it's not nothing's gonna be able to stop that person. A lot of people get comfortable in what they grew up off of us because it's easy to go back to what you're comfortable with. That's why a lot of fools are just even with health. They won't even want they know inside they need a change, and they know they need to change their whole aspect of health and get better for themselves. But when it starts showing the action, nobody wants to live up to that action, my homies. Like nobody wants to show through action. Imagine if the government was tougher on crimes. I don't think people would bang if the country wasn't so lenient. I mean, I said this a long time ago. Even with doing a life sentence, right? To the fools that are doing like heinous crimes, homie, serial killers, right? They get a life sentence. I know prisons, like that's not a place you want to be, but it's really you can go in there and people live comfortable, homie. So I feel you on that. I feel you on that aspect, bro. Like the crimes is too lenient, right? They're slapping fools on the wrist. Look at the fool that stabbed up that white girl, homie. He got out 22 times after different misdemeanors. They should have locked his ass up, right? And he ended up killing an innocent person, bro. He ended up killing an innocent person, just stabbed her up. Yeah, because it is too lenient, definitely. I agree. I agree. Out here, I know for a fact in Colorado, this is another thing about the box state, right? Colorado, Denver, Colorado. You do not want to get caught up out here in Denver, Colorado in the system. Because once you're in the system, they try to keep you in the system. It's a revolving door in the system out here in Colorado. Once you're in that prison system, it's so hard to get away from it because they're going to find everything that's little to send you back. And then people start getting comfortable with the system. People start getting comfortable with going back to prison, and you become institutionalized because it's more comfortable and it's more easy to not have responsibility. People don't want that responsibility. They don't want to come pay bills. So people will be like, I'm going to go do the rest of my time. That's a crazy mindset to me, bro. That's like breaking weak and saying, I'm going to go do my time instead of being out here on some productive shit. The one who attacked the student in Boulder barely got sentenced. How much did he get sentenced to? Dang, homie. How much did he get sentenced to? I promise you they're not going to give him what he needs to get. I don't know, man. And that's why like a lot of individuals, even for myself, man, people look at me and anybody can vouch, homie, my homies, my direct little homies, the fools that my baby homies, right? They didn't want to be around me. The young homies didn't want to be around me because Savage Sev's not gonna tell you to go put in some work, bro. And like because I don't really look at fools that's pistol down that play in the streets with this gunplay as gangsters, bro. That's not gangster to me, homie. Everybody does that shit. That's not gangster to me, homie. You're not proving anything to me because you can do that shit. That's not what I respect as a gangster, bro. And honestly, I respect the man more than I respect the gangster nowadays. A fool that takes care of his responsibilities. That's more honorable than being a gangster, bro. So my little homies, I grew up on the do or die rule, extreme rules. So since a kid, I knew I didn't want that life. Amen to that, homie. Amen to that. Um, and that's kind of, I mean, smart, kind of smart, homie. You realize that, and you didn't try to go down that road. I mean, that's honorable, homie. At least you understood that, because there's a lot of fools that will know this in the heart and they'll still go play with this fire and get burned. And then when it's time that the big boys is after these dudes, now that's when you got Snitches, homie. That's my whole thing is like, you're not really about that life to go put in some work and go sit down for a life sentence. So now you're gonna snitch, but you knew in your heart the life wasn't for you from the get-go. You just try to fit in. And now you're faced with reality, bro. You might go sit down and you're facing a life sentence behind trying to fit in. And now you're snitching because you want to get out of it. Yeah, man, that's mind blowing to me right there, homie. That's mind blowing to me because you guilty by association in these people's eyes, bro. If you're around somebody and they end up putting in some work and you're just in the car, homie, that realize this, youngsters. Peep game on what I'm saying. If you're in a car and you don't even know what's going on, and some fool in the car gets to popping on somebody and somebody dies, homie, you're not getting off on that, homie. You're gonna be conspiracy to this fool's crime, bro. So you're gonna be forced to go do time for this fool that you didn't even know was gonna do that, but you're around these dudes because you wanted to fit in, and now you're forced to either go do time for something you didn't do or snitch. And most fools, I'm sorry to say, are gonna snitch because that's what people are brought up as, homie. You're gonna snitch because you don't want to go do time for something you didn't even have nothing to do with. I seen it many times, homie. Somebody just gets hit with a situation because they were around the wrong people, and now they're forced to tell. And most fools tell because when they start hitting them football numbers, nobody wants to go sit football numbers for something they didn't do. But it comes with the game. You should like that's the messed up part, my homies. Then the FBP, Mo. I really, that's what they say, man. And if you rapping about that shit, you don't have no excuse to tell on anything. That's what they say, homie. That's what they say. You don't have and when you're in that life, homie, you don't get no excuse. There's no leadway on that shit. When you're rapping about no pressure and you're doing this music and you actually fabricating it, and that's what you putting out there, you don't get no reasoning and excuse to tell, homie. You can't just go tell the judge that somebody's trying to kill you. No, it doesn't even matter if they're trying to kill you. It doesn't matter if your life is in danger. When you're living that life, you don't go nowhere and tell any of that shit. You don't get no leadway. That's the life you chose, homie. My cousin bangs and he did 14 years. Oh damn, okay, Kern Valley in prison because his crime he shot and killed someone in a fight. There we go. That's an example, homie. That's an example. The cold part about it is fools will be like, homie, that's honorable. You doing time, and really it wasn't your situation, but you kept it thorough. But that's crazy that we have to get to a point. That's what thorough is, right? Because you might go do some time for somebody else's mistake because they're a part of your car. You ever heard, like, to people out there, you ever heard of an indictment? You ever heard of this shit called indictments? Meaning, if you were involved with any of this activities and even around, you might get put on an indictment because of your homies. And now they're playing you guys against each other. And now they're saying, hey, bro, if you tell anything and you give us some evidence and some information, your ass can go. And a lot of fools do, bro. That's why I'm saying, like, being in the gang, it's not even worth it at the end of the day. Because your right-hand man, the fool that you thought was thorough, bro, he's gonna tell, bro. There's a lot of times the homies tell. These fools that you call your brother, these fools that you say that your brother, they're the ones that are telling, bro. They're gonna tell on you because everybody's gonna be like, I'm not going to sit down for this fool. That wasn't even my problem, and this is your brother that's gonna tell on you. That's how it goes. He's solid, but damn, he paid. Yeah, bro, that's sad, homie. That's a messed up situation. That's a messed up situation, bro. And you feel for that. It's like, damn, bro, he was solid. He got the respect of being solid, but now he's doing a lot of time. Man, that's a cold shot right there, homie. But that's what the streets is. That's kind of what it is. What up, Big Gilly? What's good with it, cousin? Yeah, homie. I grew up back in the day. My mom used to tell us, nobody likes a tattletale. I was a kid, homie. Nobody likes a tattletale. We were raised off of that from moms, bro. Nobody likes a tell. Stop telling on your brother. Stop telling on your brother. So I was installed with that. And in the 90s and different things, foods were talent, bro, but it was not as prevalent. Too early 2000, it was not as prevalent. Like a lot of foods still held the code, bro. But I promise you, in the last 5 years, bro, everybody just seems like people will snitch and people will still rock with these people. And that's why snitch culture has become, it's just been normalized, bro. You know? I could even talk to him at a family camping trip. He doesn't talk unless he can relate to him. Yeah, nah, for real, bro. Wow, that, yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand that. I understand that tremendously. Um, Damn, for real? What happened, my homie? What tripped me out when some of the G's became Incas and vice versa? You know, I really never heard of too many G's becoming Inca boys, but damn, that's crazy. I mean, mind blowing. Now, if I wasn't tapped in so much on like kind of like my views and what I hold as a standard, right? I would probably understand like fools going to the penitentiary and becoming what their family was like. These fools bang this, but they got family from the G, right? And these fools show them love, right? But me just being an individual that just like kept a tight line when I was doing penitentiary, and I had a 10 times more target on my back. I really just can't look at that and be like, oh, that's okay. You was banging something in the streets and you went to prison and now you're banging a whole car. I have to back up and really think about that shit and be like, bro, that's not to the aspect of a real banger, bro. I can't see that and be like, that's honorable. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it just showed that he either one was scared of the surroundings in prison, two, he would let somebody dictate his mindset, and three, he just didn't have the strength to hold on his stands and he didn't hold it down. So I just kind of looked at that a little different, bro. Your room smell like dang, homie. Why? Because the Broncos country, man. Stop hating, homie. We on top of the league right now, homie. Don't hate on us, little dude. What time is breakfast in prison? Like, nah, it depends on what yard. Like, if you go to a yard that has like more than 1,000 inmates, they gonna start calling breakfast at 5 in the morning. And hopefully you're not the last unit to go because your breakfast is gonna be cold. you know, me, Rada. Only rock with the blue and purple. What up? Oh yeah, my homie. What up, BCFFL? What's up with him? My Rada, my Sada. What's good with you, fam? Hope you good, my homie. Yeah, we just discussing little things about loyalty and in the real and people. Damn, fast out. You better with all the hatred you chose come in, bro. Y'all better be hitting that like button. So how long have you been gay? I don't know if you got the wrong live stream, my homie. I don't know, man. But this is Savage Sev, homie. Damn, bro. And then, homie, that sounds like you trying to flirt with me right now, you gay ass fool. Like, I don't get down like that. Like, nah. I can't do it, man. Like, don't come in here with your gay antics, bro. Trying to flirt with Savage, bro. But hit that like button anyways, fool. We like the trolls, homie. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel, homie. If you gonna come in and you gonna troll, homie, just be a troll that's consistent. That's all I gotta say, homie. You know, exit the Bronco room, man. Yeah, stop hanging on Broncos country. You see that 7-2, fool? You can't see us. I went live on TikTok. Hey, I'm not even on TikTok no more, my bro. I'm not even on TikTok no more. Yeah, so yeah, bro, breakfast, they'll hit you with 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll go and they'll call you by your units. But hopefully you're not the last unit because you're gonna either have some cold ass breakfast and you gonna get the last of the barrel. And at dinner time, if you're the last unit going, homie, and you're hungry for hamburger night, you're gonna be starving for a minute because it takes about a couple hours. Takes about a couple hours, an hour to hour and a half to get to the last unit. My other cousin asked him if he ever got. I was so shocked. What the hell? Damn. He went left on cousin, huh? That's just wild, man. See, and you kind of see the stereotypes and that type of shit when they talk about prison. I mean, to be real, rape, grape. Let me say grape. It's not going on like on a regular basis, homie. The foods that really get turned out are the foods that actually probably we talked about it. Like people seen a weakness or they seen something that they could see through that fool, and he gonna get turned out. He might get preyed on because he got a weakness. Level-headed and respectable fools in there are not just gonna get that's not gonna happen to them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like people, they glorify that, over glorify that, and people have it wrong a lot of the times, you know. A lot of fools that are on that time, bro, are fools that probably were the weak links or had some bad stuff on the yard. They get victimized like that. Or they get turned out and they just like that shit. You know what I'm saying? I use TikTok, but not as much as I use YouTube. Yeah, I had to let TikTok go, bro. A lot of drama over there. My fingers still stink from last night. Damn, this fool was over there. Bro, you nasty ass fools, bro. You guys are over there masturbating to videos. You fools are nasty, bro. How you gonna come to Sevlokes Hotels and literally be trying to get off on my videos? You're sick, bro. You need to do something with your life, man. There's some gay. It's because I'm on that vertical live, bro. Like anybody can come in here and just say the dumbest things. You know what I'm saying? Man, trolls be saying this is like TikTok, really, to be truthful. I laugh so hard and most of the time the only happens because they offer it or don't have family. Yeah, not definitely, bro. Or they did some no with owing somebody on the yard and now you got a debt. Yeah, we do. Let's go Broncos, man. Let's turn up, man. Broncos country in the building. Hey, we gonna be 8-2 tomorrow. Leading the division. But yeah, bro, I appreciate your guys' time. I had to come chop it up with him, man. So yeah, man. So the homie Alvin, kind of you know what I'm saying? Look at the video, homie. I do not agree with fools hood hopping whatsoever. I think you got to keep it loyal. Loyal when you a part of that type of lifestyle, bro. You got to keep it loyal to what you know. Like, there's no excuse to if you're quoted. Let's say that if you're put on a hood, bro, there's no reason to go try to jump and go to a different tribe. It's just not honorable, homie. Like at the end of the day, it's not honorable. It kind of shows that you'll just jump ship when it's hard. But so that's my view. So yeah, man, Mile High salute. I'ma still tap into. Hey, yeah, let me know, bro. Let me know. You see that? He just actually killed it. Boom. Colorado veteran. Yeah, the lighting. Boom. Look at that. Look at that right there. The skyline, homie. The lines is tight. Damn, what happened? What was his name? Well, oh, he was named after the hood. Are you from LA, my homie? Is that where you're from? Originally LA? Shout out to my LA homies, man. Got a couple homies that I know from LA. Got a couple homies I know from Watts. What's her name in the Florence? Oh, okay, Florencia. Shout out to them fools, man. See, and even with that, bro, I remember when the Florencia homie, when the Florencia fools got into it with the East Coast Crips. You look at that shit, bro. Like that was a domino effect on a gang of people, and greater minds prevailed, bro, and they squashed that beef really, and they had to because there was literally people dying left and right behind that shit, man. Check out that link. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you, my homie, legend, mine, homie. Peace. Shout out to Texas, man. Big ups to the T, bro. Shout out to my Texas homies. A lot of homies that I know from Texas too. That's a beautiful thing because we got a lot of people from everywhere, man. I'm always like overwhelmed with the love from like different places, homie. Like I got love from every different city and state. Um, I remember going to Denver one time, seeing nothing but NSMs and G's. Now it's all different. Well, that's those right there are original. They're original Denver neighborhoods, my homie. So at that time when you was probably out here, homie, it was original. Like they were holding it down, original, bro. And they regentified all them hoods, bro. So that's why you might not see them, but they're out. I mean, them neighborhoods are still everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just back in the day, you could see them in the hood. When they regentified everything, Denver just kind of switched up, bro, and they moved everybody everywhere. They moved all kinds of white folks into them hoods, and they just moved everybody everywhere. So a lot of times when you come out here, Denver is everywhere else but Denver. Like it's everywhere. Aurora, Lakewood, Thornton, Westminster, Green Mountain Ranch, Green Valley Ranch. Like you're gonna get Denver in bits and parts of all the box state. Um, Tomorrow, yeah, let me know, man. When you get out here, we got a big weekend. My boy coming out here. We gonna turn up, my homie. I'm gonna hit you after this live too, bro, because I'm gonna see how we can do it with the rides. If I have to bail with my truck down there, it's just hard to kind of find parking, but I like respect, but don't have to bang. How not? I give more respect to fools that were in them circumstances, bro. That never banged, bro. Like if you beat the odds, bro, and you never joined up and you never got put on a hood, like respect to that shit. You kept your own mindset. I mean, I got none but respect for that. What up with it? Nato, what's good with you, my brother? I want some Luceros. They're not as good as they used to be, though, my homie. Luceros used to be fire, fool. Las Delicias, how yeah, that shit fire up, man. You making me hungry over here. When I heard about Utah banging, I was like, yeah, bro, that's the crazy part. And the cold part about it is they gonna have little fools that will try to knock your ass down. They gonna try to knock you down because they represent Utah. Like I always say this. I always say this, my homie. You always gonna have somebody from everywhere. It doesn't matter what part. They're gonna be a solid individual for that, and they're gonna try to get their respect off of what they know. That's why I never try to disrespect littler neighborhoods or different cities that I didn't hear. Like I always have respect for different backyards that other people be like, man, they don't bang out there. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to live up to that name and they'll kill behind that shit, you know? Because I used to have that mindset too. If it ain't Denver, like if it ain't Denver, Colorado, and then it's not the D town, I ain't got love for. I used to when I was younger. I didn't have love for Pueblo, and I used to look down at them fools and Greeley and Grand Junction. And if it wasn't Denver, homie, I really didn't have love. Like it was Denver or nothing. And even in the metro, even Aurora, like we kind of had a different view. Like Aurora, now we're not Aurora, fool. The A town, we're not that. That's not us, homie. Nah, hell no. This is Denver or nothing. You know. Hit me up after 3 p.m. California time. Oh, okay. You headed out here tonight, my homie. Let's turn up, bro. We're gonna have a good weekend. We definitely gonna have a good weekend, Miguel, for sure. Man, that's gonna be a good little adventure this weekend. Everything watered down now, but I still stay away from the wild younger. Yeah, everything, homie, because them fools are the ones that are trying to make statements for no reason. They the ones out here trying to make statements for no reason, my bro. Like they actually killing for no reason. They're taking people's lives for no reason. It's like, damn, fool, why you it's just like the little youngster. He killed the lady because she actually hit his car, barely hit his car. And this little fool threw his life away and shot this lady and took somebody's life just to prove a point to the dude that was driving him. Sad, homie. You know? And he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison. And he ain't even an adult yet. That fool's like 17 years old, 16 years old, or something like that. Never gonna see daylight again because they charge him as an adult. Sad, bro, because like he probably had potential to do something else in his life. And all because he wanted to have some type of feel some type of I'm kind of solid. I'm kind of a rider. I got that gangster mentality. He ended up shooting this lady, bro, and killed her. Killed her. I don't know, man. That's a sad situation, homie. And I've talked about that shit before too. I talked about putting energy out there that is gonna lay a bed for you. You got to sleep in. Like I always talked about that shit, bro. Like if you out there really just putting that energy out there and you out there like painting a picture, like you're just all about the activities, when shit hits the fan and you might be forced with the reality of the craziness and you might die behind it, like you got to live with that bed, homie. Nobody can paint a picture and say, and I know it comes off harsh, but nobody can paint a picture and say this dude was a good dude. No, he wasn't a good dude, bro. A lot of these people be painting these pictures of these fools that just push negativity and craziness. And nah, that wasn't a good dude, homie. No, it wasn't. Denver almost had the gay Olympics. Damn, bro, that's what they're doing. Not by the Capitol, you know. That's wild, homie. See the time frame we living in, bro. That's craziness. What do you think about that? That's crazy. Energy, if very real, some are blind to that craziness. Blind to it. I know a lot of people were mad at the recent video I had did with the other homie, you know, and they were kind of upset because I was stating some real shit. But that's the reality of like that circumstance and that situation, homie. You know, you eventually are it's gonna catch up to you if you're out there putting bad into the world, homie. It's gonna catch up to you. You can't get away from that shit. You gonna deal with it for a long time down the road. You gonna deal with what you put out there. And if you ain't putting nothing good into the world and that's what it is, that energy is gonna catch up to you, you know? And I see these fools that get killed, and I know, bro, when you were alive, you put a lot of bad energy out there. What did you expect? What do people expect? If you created a lot of enemies, one day you might meet your maker, bro. And then you know what I'm saying? You got people painting a picture like this person was a good little dude. Like, nah, he wasn't. He died for what he loved. He died for that energy. He loved that energy. He loved the toxicness and the craziness of that energy. That shit's wild, man. I know. That's the truth. That's the truth. And that's the cold heart about it is like, I was that type though, homie. Like, I was that type of individual. You couldn't tell me shit at one time. Hell no. Nah. You couldn't tell me about I have my mind set up, you know? Um, and unfortunately, it took me a lot of bruises and bumps to get where I'm at. Bruises and bruises and bruises and just headaches and just days where I'm just like miserable, bro, and just this mental traumas. And it took a lot for me to actually become this individual. Because for a long time, bro, I really didn't care, but building up the hood and just pushing it out there, that's all I cared about. And I was blinded, fool. And even I took some crazy casualties, bro, and I took many people around me dying and me getting shot up twice and going to prison. And you would think for a minute that shit would have made me change my ways too. Maybe change my ways and had a different perspective in life, but I didn't. I still kept going. I kept going back to my throw up. People praying for me in the church, like mama praying for me, like, man, save this dude. It's Starbucks, little Starbucks out here. And it took like to be honest, I don't even think anything from the hood aspect could have changed my life, but I really had an aspect where I took a mental and sickness and health, bro. My health and almost dying because of health situation, that just put another reality into life, bro. Life is crazy and it's here and it's gone in one day, homie. I promise you, like in every aspect, not knowing your health and you getting sick to a point where you think you're gonna die off of sickness, that was an eye opener for me. I was like, I got to do something different in my life. Maybe God is really calling me to do something different because nothing else is working. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else is working. Yeah, now it's all lattes and Starbucks, fool. But ain't no wrong with no Starbucks, my brother. That's why when I'm around fools, I just keep yeah. No, sometimes it's best. Um, Hell yeah, man. The old school Curtis Park. They don't even have that shit open, fool. We can't even go to Curtis Park. We can't even go to Curtis Park no more. They don't even have it open, bro. And then they changed the whole park up. There's not two parks. It's just one big park. Hell yeah, free lunches. What they know about the free lunches? That was the good old days. My grandma lived in the projects right across the street from Gilpin. Right across the street. Are you hiding out, Rada? Rada, what's up, my homie? Broncos with them late game. Hey, don't even trip, my Brody. We gonna get it together. We we have a magical clutch about Broncos country, bro. Magical clutch. We probably one of the most clutchest teams in the NFL right now. I'm good, but we need to start out a little faster. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to razzle dazzle the league, bro. We got to take off, definitely. What up with it, big Colorado? Let's go, Broncos. Let's go. Let's go, Radas. Spinning the homie off the high school dive. Yeah, that was good shit, fool. They don't know about that. Unless you a real Curtis Park baby, a East Side Denver baby. You don't know about that old school shit. Hey, bro, what's your thoughts on Mall High Minute saying Denver is rated the 10th city with the most? Um, let's be real about this. There's snitches everywhere, homie. There's snitches everywhere. I don't know the statistic, but like to be truthful, homie, like I can't even argue with some of this shit because there's a lot of snitches, bro. Like, but snitching is like an epidemic, homie, a pandemic, bro. Like, but you got like first 48, they go to all the killer cities and everybody's snitching. Everybody's snitching, bro. So I wouldn't try to argue that it ain't. Maybe it is. I know a lot of snitches out here, definitely. So I can't argue that, but it's sad that we even having these discussions. Y'all snooze early. But see, that's really to be truthful, my homie. Like we do snooze a little early, but I guess the Broncos are to a point. We have a defense that's just gonna just bail us out. And we believe in Bo Nix in the fourth quarter. So it's like, bro, we could relax and chill for the first three quarters, and somehow we gonna win. Um, some fools are funny too. They're gangsters, but funny as well. Yeah, like the Eggers, fool. Let's go, Broncos. Croncos, let's go, Rada. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the old school local way, man. We don't say Broncos, we say the Croncos. Snitching is the trend now. I mean, yeah, stay out of the streets, youngsters. There's even snitches in the mafia. Yeah, bro. So that could be true. I mean, Mile High Minute might have been onto something. I know a lot of fools they might get mad about that, but like I got snitched on, bro, on my case by a million different people. There was people that came out the apartments and said, the fool with the green eyes. That's how they actually got me, bro, because of my eyes. He was one of the shooters. He had the pistol. This little fool was shot. This fool, this, boom, boom. My neighbors that didn't even see it, they just seen me running, bro. Literally said they ran through the creek and went to the house. They snitched. So everybody, and these fools is family that was a part of the case. They was supposed to be some gangsters, bro. How you gangsta and you gonna snitch on me like that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Raider hater all day. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about, homie. Coming with the clutch. Um, the only time snitching is allowed is when there's predators. Now, I agree with that, bro. Like if there's a little girl getting molested, a chomo, hell yeah, bro, you better get that fool locked up. Like that's how I feel. Like if it's a chomo and he's touching kids, like in a civilian, I don't have a problem with somebody getting somebody locked up for being a chomo, bro. Like real talk, homie. You know what I'm saying? We want them fools actually off this earth, so they deserve to be in prison. The Chomos on Fremont, on the Fremont yard. My uncle, I mean, that's how I found out about. Yeah, bro, that's wild, homie. You would damn, and them are the organizations that you carry with the utmost high respect. I used to get my school clothes from the Goodwill on 30th and Arapahoe. Remember that shit, baby? Yeah, that old school 30 block. You see that right there, Arapahoe? That bigger, I'm on 27 right there, Big Arapahoe Street, 27 Arapahoe, homie. 30th is my grandma's house, though. She used to live on the 30 block. And that was Tetris back in the day, homie. The Chickies and the CCRs would be right there. 30th and my pops, rest in peace, died on 30th and Arapahoe. Kenny G, man. Rest in peace to pops. My uncle was, yeah, nah, that's crazy, bro. But hell yeah, bro. Shout out to all the Arapahoe block homies. So if you go to 30th and Arapahoe right now and you go in the middle of 30th, going to Lawrence, my homie, the cross on that light post is my pops' cross, bro. Kenny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? That cross has been there since I was little, bro, because he got killed in 2002, 2001. And ever since they put that cross up every year from my pops, bro. From LA to Kansas City, Pelican Bay is a far drive. Yeah, that's my dad, fool. Kenny. Yeah, that's my pops, fool. I'm baby Kenny. Rest in peace to my dad and my uncle, but they both got killed, man. Yeah, that's my uncle, bro. They both got killed, homie. That's crazy, huh? Yeah, you know my family, then, fool. That's my family, bro. My dad is Kenny, and my uncle's Bobo, fool. What up, Rada? Oh, we got the homie. Go sub up to the homie Box State Business. They try, and we gonna talk about that tonight. We gonna do a live tonight with the homie on my channel, and we gonna talk about it, homie. We gonna talk about these busters getting the homie shit took down, man. Uh, oh yeah, I definitely gonna hit you when get off this laptop, man. You moderator, homie. Kill these fools with the moderation. Um, yeah, I'm a Garcia, homie. Garcia family. Big Garcia family. That's my pops, bro. Like, yeah, pops. I'm Cisneros though. My mom's, bro. I take on the Cisneros because I grew up with my mom. My mom raised me. But yeah, my bloodline on my dad's side is Garcia, man. Big Garcia family, man. Those are two of the biggest. Those are two of the biggest families in the East Side, right there. Garcias and Cisneros. Like my if you're from the East Side, that part of the projects, you know that 27 is my grandpa Cisneros. Roy C, that's the old school. They had the corner store. That's all my family right there. All the Garcias and Cisneros. So yeah, we like rooted. When I say East Side, like from the projects right there, my family came from the 40s and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cisneros family been there for a long time, man. But Garcia's his dad and them. Uh, that's what's up. I lived on corner house on 30th. Little Eric and them fools, Bubba and all them. Most dangerous fools I know. Last name is usually Garcia. Let's go, man. Garcia blood run deep, bro. Yeah, that Garcia blood is some warriors. Warriors. Yeah, all my relatives are some warriors, bro. All my Garcia family and Cisneros family. I got some bloodline, bro. My family is some goons from the east side. Yeah. That's what's up, my homie. Little buff, short ass. So me, bro. Rapo Trues is my rally, homie. That's my relatives and shit. I'm a part of a Rapo Trues. Like that's the paper route clique. He used to be on that first Rapo Trues back in the day, my homie. Yeah, no, it's good to see family, bro. It's good to see people that recognize, man. So yeah, homie, I just came up to say what's up to the Rotters, bro. But Today, man, like somebody had to ask me that question. And I had to answer it. I had to give an honest take, homie, like just from my perspective. Because a lot of people have different perspectives on it. A lot of people will have different opinions on it. I give opinions from a person that's 40 years old, bro, that's been through the aspect of going down that path of gang banging and different things and just the morals and values of that, homie. And I just try to give a perspective that can open people's eyes to shit. I mean, I don't know everything. Don't know everything, but I got a little experience under my belt. Oh, palm trees. Ain't no beaches and ain't no palm trees up in the Denver city. Baby G from the east side, Murder Street. Hit the pad to my mama looking hella mad. It's the streets, it's the streets, it's the BLO. Double C got me acting like I'm 20, bro. But it's all right because I'm little. That boy, little Bubba, got off on that. Hey, what's up, sis? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you over here. Mile High salute. Lady said sends her love. She over there working. She's a moderator right now, so she might be watching. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to you. It's good to see you. From the sidelines, I agree with your perspective. I seen it too. Hell yeah, my bro. Like, so last but not least, and I'll let you guys go for your day. If you're like new to the channel, man, I'll just give you a rundown because I'm kind of getting more back into these kind of topics. I left this type of YouTube because there's a lot of domino effect that comes with it, but everybody knows Savage Sev Lokes Hotels. Um, this channel started out as a sports channel. I was doing more sports than anything. I created another channel that I actually got taken down. I couldn't do it no more. Like YouTube just took it down for me. So I was doing a lot of the history of Denver on that other channel, and that channel was booming. Lost the ownership to that channel. I try to flip this channel into what it was, and it got pretty big. Like a lot of people know of this channel of Denver history. So I just speak on Denver history. And the last, I would have to say the last year, I lost my moderation, like not moderation, but they unmonetized me. You know what I'm saying? They unmonetized me, and YouTube was kind of messing with my money that I was making from YouTube. So I kind of just was doing it for fun, homie. And then later down the road, I kind of took a break and said that I was going back to sports content. So, that's just a rundown, bro. We speak about a lot of different things. You're gonna hear sports on here too, because this Broncos country, you see that right there. You know what it is. It's box day business. But I'm gonna a lot of people ask me to start doing regular content again, this kind of content. So I'm not gonna go into the whole description of Denver no more because there's people that kind of got sad about that and everything, but it's going to be more about my experiences, more about my stories, more about the history of me, and just the testimony aspect. I'm not going to go into everybody's history and do everybody's rundown of their hoods and all that. You know what I'm saying? But we back to it, man. Let's see. I still can't believe my cousin asked him that. Me neither, fool. That's wild. That's wild. Sev is an OG. I've known him for hell yeah. That's good people right there. That's the sis, right? That's the OG of the football community. You know what I'm saying? Good people. Uh, if you bad peoples, we on your ass. Don't get roller coaster. Don't get that east side roller coaster. Um, Hell yeah, bro. I played some Prince Hall. I played some Tigers. I played what was that? North Denver Broncos. I played on all them little league teams, bro. And I was good, homie. I was a good ass sports dude, bro. Like I could have played sports, but going down gang banging, it took me away from my real dream. I wanted to be a Bronco, homie. For real though, Rada. For real. Yeah, real talk. That's why I stopped doing it too. Cause it's like it was talking about, oh, bro, you said the wrong thing about the homie. And I'm like, bro, your homie, like, you're lucky I even mentioned that fool's name because he really just you really don't have history. Like he was a writer, but I don't have to mention your whole hood because like not everybody, like 98% of your hood ain't even writers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not gonna do that no more though, definitely. Or was the coach. You bring it back to the old school, Marada. Funny, funny, my homie. That's good old days. Yeah, Ryan, let me know too, bro. I'll give you a call. Definitely give you a call to see if you want to do this live. I got my laptop up and running so we could go off the StreamYard. And the main topic tonight is gonna be why is food such soft foods and getting people's channels took down? Y'all ain't even staying who you are that are gonna get the channel took down. Y'all are just pressing buttons and going to tell YouTube and reporting where somebody's channel gets taken down, bro. Like you feel good about yourself? Come on, man. I miss the old school Hay Weeks, but I don't ever see that happening again. Yeah, you know me too. If you go to my first week, I did a Hay Week, and then I did a Hay Week the second week, and nobody came out for it, so I just kind of let it go. Like it's over with, you know. People are gonna do whatever they do, but and that's another thing too, right there, sis. That's all there was when I first came into YouTube was the Hay Weeks. That's what we did. We trash talked in Hay Week. There was no panels. No panels. Now it's all panels and nobody does Hay Week, so it's like it's dead. That part of that aspect is dead, definitely. They let the trolls take over. Yeah, homie, sickening. And I still got love for the homies over there. Like, don't get me wrong, I will always have love for the homies over there, but I just don't want to associate with everybody. Some of them fools don't deserve Savage's time, bro. Because I literally I try to do the honorable thing when it came to that community. I try to be an honorable person over there and up on the bets. Don't bet Welch. Always be honorable and always represent your team. And not all them fools is actually over there doing that, you know? Bumper hitching from the 30th. What you know about the bumper hitch in the snow? What you know about that bumper hitch in the snow, homie? That shit, I'm ready to go and bumper hitch when the snowstorm. Like I'm gonna be the fool. I'm gonna be outside in the snow, homie. I know people are gonna say this fool's crazy because minorities, we don't like snow. We don't like to be out in it, but I got ADHD, bro. I'm a hyperactive kid, homie, still in heart. I'm gonna go outside and go. I'm gonna go play in the snow and be bombing fools with snowballs, homie. that's what I'm doing for the holidays, fool. I know it was soft because that likes little girls. Ah, hell nah, fool. With me, badass drawing. Hey, because there's some good ass tattoo artists. Good ass tattoo artists, bro. Some of them, I say like this. I say about prison, about the penitentiary, homie. You can be anything you want in prison. People are smokers all their life and they go to prison, and they're the number one draft pick in the basketball leagues. Like you got basketball leagues in prison, and their whole skill level comes out. And you be like, bro, you used to smoke crack, and you over here putting up 30 plus points in a game. You can go be a janitor in prison. I seen fools smoke fentanyl and go be a rapper in the music program. I seen fools be custodial workers. I see fools be maintenance workers. I seen fools be hairstylists. So, you know what I'm saying? Then they get out and they smoke bops again. What the hell? They know how to draw some sexy ass girls with some boreros. Hell yeah, bro. Good ass artist, definitely. Homie, tattoo artist. The best drawings I ever seen come from the prison system. Wow, you want to see my drawing, homie? This is what my draw. I never was artistic. You see, that's how I draw, homie. You see my drawing right there? That's my drawing, homie. I never could draw. I didn't have a hand for that shit. That's just funny to me. Oh hell no! What socks and gloves? It's not. That looks like my drawings. Hell yeah! Look at that shit. I promise you, bro. Look at that shit. That shit has detail too. That shit has detail. I mean, hell no. All right. Well, hey, it's been fun actually talking. Chopped up. We started the whole discussion about something totally different, and we just sometimes that's what happens. You just go off in a whole different direction, but that just means that's good ass conversation. You know, you go in a different direction and you just start talking and reminiscing, you know. That's how you know you have a good conversation, man. But shout out to everybody. Mile high salute to everybody. You guys have a good rest of your day, and you know tonight last thing I'm gonna say is that we got a show tonight. So if you guys want to tune in, it'll be on here. Box State Business, Dummy Dodging. I know we do the show on his channel, but his channel got took down, bro, by the haters and trolls. So we gonna be here tonight, 7 o'clock. Mile high salute to everybody. You know what it is. To the next one. You know the logo. Go Broncos. Let's go, man.